Hi everyone, Hannah here. Welcome back to the Data Source series, where each week we discuss a different data source, all of which are free to use. This week we'll be discussing clinical trials data and pairing it with open payments to get to the next level. If you find this video useful, give it a like, leave a comment down below if you have any questions, and make sure to subscribe to catch the next video in the series.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Shanmugam, how are you doing?
Good morning. How are you?
Hey, I'm very excited to talk about this clinical trials.
Yep.
And I think you're going to tell us a little more about ClinicalTrials.gov and also how we can enhance it and get better things from it.
Yes.
But just for starting, I think I like, you tell me what you think, Shanmugam, ClinicalTrials.gov. It allows you to see into the future.
Yeah.
It tells you about, what drugs are going to make it, if they make it, but at least how the marketplace is going to look like.
Right. Yeah. You can specifically specify NSCLC or breast cancer and look at what are the up and comers and how are they doing well in phase 2 and then also in phase 3. Right. I think that gives
Understand
a good
that you can also get to see the PIs as well, right? The principal investigators of those studies.
Exactly.
Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah. So you can see them on their link, the NCT study URL. And if you want to download it, they restrict the names, but you can use a JSON to actually get those PIs.
And you get to see the sites as well, right?
Yes, exactly. Some of them have like hundreds of sites and across many different countries. Yeah, it's a very cool data set.
So it means that for a given study, you can say which study is big and which study is more just looking at the PIs or how famous they are or the number of sites.
Yeah.
Right? And also in what phase they are in the clinical trial. If they just started or are they about, and then the status as well, if they're still recruiting or
actively recruiting. Yeah.
Or maybe over, they closed
terminated or completed. Some of them are suspended as well. Right. Yeah.
So those would be a very, very good addition to our toolbox, right?
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I want to know more about this ClinicalTrials.gov.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'll have an interesting spin to it as well. And I'll give you a demo. We'll take a top-selling lung cancer drug, NSCLC drug.
Okay.
And then we'll kind of go through.
Okay. Wonderful.
Okay.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
Cool. So Shanmugam, what are we looking at here?
Yes. So this is actually an extract from the ClinicalTrials.gov, JP.
Okay. You took any drug in particular?
Yeah, we took nivolumab, Opdivo, which is one of the top-selling NSCLC drug, and we saw that they had 327 trials. And then we have the study URL, what the study is, and what phase they have, study status, right? So for you and for the people who are watching, I kind of flipped it so that we can see what the status is and what are the conditions that they are. So this is basically the TA, NSCLC, advanced NSCLC, and what biologic they are testing it against.
So the company is the sponsor, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, BMS, and it also talks about what date the study started and when they completed. And also, this is where we see all the locations. So if you see Pinnacle Oncology,
where the trial is being run, right?
Exactly. Okay. Yeah. So, and let's say that we take just one.
So each column represents one study, right?
Exactly. Yeah, it's represented by the NCT number, JP. And for this example, let's zoom in on one trial.
Yeah, let's take one trial.
Yeah. So, and how do we find the data is through the study URL. And once you click the study URL, like on the top, then it'll open up a page where it shows all the details, where we see the PI and the collaborators. In this case, this trial was completed and they kind of published their findings. So then we saw that if we follow, they published it in Journal of Thoracic Oncology, and these are all this is actually the study.
Right? So those people in blue here, the PIs.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Spot on.
And then we have the affiliation of those people, as in the hospitals or university or whatever they're affiliated with.
Yeah. So they have a long list of affiliations here, JP. There were almost 21 people, including people from BMS as well. But then there's Sarah Cannon Research Institute, Rocky Mountains, Vanderbilt, Moffitt in Florida. So it even spans across Canada as well. Outside of US. So Yes.
That's wonderful. So we have, just to understand what's going on, when you click on the study URL, you go there, you get the names of the PIs involved in the study, and then also the affiliation of those people.
Yes.
So we basically get a big chunk that we can work with.
Right. And you can extend it even further.
No way.
Let me show you how.
Okay, I'm listening.
So this is where Open Payments comes into help.
Oh, the one we talked about last time?
Right.
Oh, okay.
So
okay.
Open Payments, we had a deep dive on the general section file, right? So there's another file called research file.
Okay.
So in that, actually there's a column for the ClinicalTrials.gov identifier.
And so then, like NCT? Is it the NCT?
Yes, okay. Right. So we can apply the NCT number, the same number that we have for this, right? So this is the ending in 66636, right?
Yeah.
So when we go to the Open Payments, I have this copy as a reference, but this is the Open Payments file, right? I know it's kind of hard to read, so
let's look at flip.
Yeah, we did a flip, and then so as you can see, we can see the entities where they have the trials, and also the teaching hospital they connected to, their address, and we can see even up to 5 principal investigators who were working in that site.
Based on the NCT.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. And then we have Jeffrey working with the NYU Langone, and then Dennis, and then their specialty. I know the 2 and 3 are not filled for many of them, 2 to 5.
Yeah.
But then when you scroll down, we also see who was the
sponsor.
Yeah, the sponsor, and then what drug it was, right? And also the NDC code for the drug, right? And then how much is the payment they actually got, right?
Right. So this is where you're tying the PI with the money.
Exactly. Yep.
I see.
And then what payment they did. This was the 2023, and then this is how we connected. So if you see the nivolumab study that we had, the ending in 66636, yeah. And we found that...
So you get the money that those PIs received.
Yes.
For Opdivo here, we're looking at based on the on this database, right? The Open Payments.
Yeah. Okay. Open Payments research data.
Cool. That's very nice, because this we don't have in ClinicalTrials.gov. You don't know how much money. I mean, you only get the study and the PI, but you have no money at all.
Correct. And they don't have the NPI too, right?
Yeah.
So this is another advantage.
You get the NPI.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, and we found on top of the people that were mentioned in this trial, JP, we found many others. So I kind of, if you see the ones that were highlighted in yellow are the ones that appear here too. So like Ben Creelan, right? So there's Ben Creelan, Dave Daniel. So
the authors of the paper.
Yeah. So Davey Daniel, right? So, but the ones in white are the new guys that we can go after, right?
I see. So they're if I understand correctly, Shanmugam, the guys in white here, they don't appear in ClinicalTrials.gov, but they appear in here. And we have the money for those guys as well.
Exactly. Yeah. So we can expand our targets, and yeah, that's so beautiful. And when we did that, we actually did a Venn diagram on how it would look like. So from the clinical trials, we saw that there were 21 people, right, JP? In the
so there's 21 PIs here, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So, and from the Open Payments, there were 76 of them.
Oh, we got many, many more.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So, and there were like 12 people that overlapped in both of them. So 9 of them were like who were part of the company that sponsored the trial and things. And ex-US also didn't make it, right? So that's why we actually, these 9 guys fall into that group.
So some of the 9 they work for BMS, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So it makes sense that they won't be in the Open Payments. Right?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Right. And so these 64 are entirely new targets that we can actually go after, and they have their connections to sites, and we call them collaborators. So and we can connect them to what site they were affiliated to, and this was something.
So if I get it correctly, Shanmugam, is by using this Open Payments, you can really expand the list of PIs for the collaborators that you would get only from ClinicalTrials.gov. So it's really an expansion, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Wow, I never thought we could use Open Payments, and then you get the money.
Yeah, right. And this is just one trial. If you have all the trials, think about the new targets we'll have, right?
Wow, beautiful. So really, kind of my take home from this is ClinicalTrials.gov is beautiful. Use it. Yes. And the magic that you added to it is through the spin of Open Payments.
Exactly.
And you can really expand it. You get the more people that you can target if you're running your study.
Yeah.
And then you get the money as well. So you get a better, let's call it like financial or networking profiling of those PIs that you wouldn't get if you was to stay on ClinicalTrials.gov, exactly. Right?
Yeah. Then you can rank order and then have plan A's and go deep into targeting.
Thank you. That's very helpful.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're very welcome. And we'd love to hear your toughest problems and I'd love to speak to you. You give us a call and until next time.
Bye.
Bye.